Eric Elness, and the Converging Paths podcast is brought to you by First Congregational United Church of Christ in downtown Portland, Oregon, doing online worship via Zoom and Facebook Live and now YouTube Live at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. During this series that we're presently following, we are looking at learnings from the pandemic, those good and bad ones that we want to, that provide us insight, though, for the future, what our post-pandemic reality might look like. And we're looking at an ancient mystic from the 14th century named Julian of Norwich for kind of our categories where we're looking. And last week we were kind of taking her advice that during a pandemic, and she lived through an entire life, the Black Death, she advised that you don't turn away from the darkness, but face it head on. And that's what we did last week. And we talked to Gareth Higgins in Northern Ireland and about some of the way the pandemic has really exacerbated some of the polarization that existed in the United States. And this week we're going the opposite direction. Julian also advises that we pay attention to the blessings that are in our lives despite the darkness. And that's what we'll be doing today with my very, very special guest. I've been looking forward to him coming on for a long time now, Rabbi Brian Mayer, who has an online synagogue called Religion Outside the Box. And there's a good reason why it's called Religion Outside the Box. And Brian is no Pollyanna. He's going to be talking about gratitude and things to be grateful for. But let me just give you a taste of something he told his congregation just yesterday in their online worship when somebody was asking about looking at so many blessings.
It's too simplistic to have everything be all good. It just doesn't work. And I get freaked out. Bad. I get freaked out when I see people whose religions are all smiles, and it's I heard someone say it's solar theology. It's full solar theology. It's always sunshine and everything's always good. And that shit scares the crap out of me.
There we go. Brian will be with us in just a few minutes. But as we move in, let's get started, though, with a reflection on gratitude by a Christian monk named Brother David Stendhal Rast.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you. Today. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. each one has an incredible story behind their faith. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. All that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. Turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. A gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
Beautiful. Well, I should say the Converging Paths podcast is perhaps the boldest videocast on the internet, because we did our inaugural videocast going head-to-head with the Super Bowl last week, and now we're going to head-to-head with everybody's Valentine's Day celebration. So pretty bold, but one thing I would never do is try to go head-to-head against the religion outside the box with our guest tonight, Brian Zachary Mayer. If you have never visited his gathering on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock, I highly recommend it. Fantastic time, and I always wonder where that hour went when I attend. Good to see you this evening, Brian.
Thank you for having me this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, and thank you to your wife for letting us have you for Valentine's
and
Day.
Yours as well.
Thanks. So, you know the topic. We're looking at our learnings from the pandemic, and especially any insights that may have surprised you during this time, or even blessings that maybe you already knew about but have helped you get through some of the darker moments.
I think the first thing when you asked me about this topic was that the pandemic has. I have a dear friend who says it's as though you're driving and you're on cruise control, and all of a sudden you almost swerve, you almost get into an accident, and you go, oh my God, what am I doing? And you kind of wake up to realize, whoa. And the pandemic really jolted all of us out of our complacency, out of our default settings, out of our normal routines. And I think for that reason, gratitude has come up for a lot of people. It's bizarre, but it takes not being able to get toilet paper for us to appreciate getting toilet paper.
Right.
And our society hums along really nicely on not having awareness of how grateful we ought to be. So I want to start with that, is that the pandemic has really helped a lot of people, and I'm afraid we're slipping out of it. I have two quotes about gratitude that I wanted to jump and say, because I think they're very important here. One, and it's going to be right over your picture.
I can move that.
There we go. It's from Cicero, who said, gratitude is the progenitor of all virtues. That all of the other virtues come from gratitude. And there's also Sophocles, who said, gratitude to gratitude always gives birth. This is just to underscore the importance of gratitude. And then I wanted to show, this was a mathematical formula that I found out, that gratitude is made out of two things. It's somewhat like we all have budgets. Whether or not you know you have a budget of inflows versus outflows. And our gratitude is made out of this. It's made out of moments of conscious thankfulness. And the video we just saw talked a little bit about this, of just noticing these things is one, but to be conscious of it, that's where that's real thankfulness. It takes consciousness to be grateful. And gratitude is equal to thankfulness minus, I'm afraid to say this one, complaints. And our gratitude practice is very simple. It's the number of times you are thankful, consciously thankful for something, like the sky, minus the number of times, and I define this one as the number of times that you utter a complaint. Because I think it takes a Jedi in order to not think complaints. I'm not at that level, but I can control what comes out of my mouth.
Now, you know, Brian, as I seeing this, I'm reminded, we were just having a conversation about the 7 deadly sins before the broadcast, and in classic tradition, one of the 7 lively virtues is gratitude, but the thing that kills it, the deadly sin that kills the gratitude is envy. And I now have envy of your writing board program here that you're showing up there. So.
Well, I'm going to argue with the 7 deadly sins on that then. And this was not rehearsed, but envy actually is very important in our lives. Rabbis talk about that envy leads us to learning. Because it's only because you see someone else who has something and you say, well, why can't I do that too? And there are 2 ways it can go. Envy can also lead you to slashing someone's tires.
Right.
But it can lead you to say, I want a car like that. How can I get one? So I will be glad to give you all the information on how to get a fun writing board and alleviate your envy.
Sounds good.
Turn it into learning. So can I ask the people who can we see some of the folks who are here?
Let me change the view here.
I just want to ask if anyone has if you had the choice between you can add more thankfulness, and that's usually what we think of a gratitude practice as doing, to add more thankfulness, or to take out some of the complaints, the things that you say. Which one do you think would give you a better bang for your buck on February 15th tomorrow? If you added in 7 things of more conscious gratitude, of conscious thankfulness, or if you took away 7 complaints? Then I don't know if we do this interactive style like.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
People can unmute themselves. They know how to do that.
I'd say, can you hear
Thanks,
me?
Eileen.
I'd say add, but you have another Jew in the house, even though I'm a member here.
I'm not keeping track. So you would add in. So tomorrow, Eileen, you're gonna do 7 or more moments of verbal or conscious thankfulness tomorrow.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Great. And someone else is there someone who thinks that they might be better served if they said a few less negative things?
I'm actually pretty mad about a couple of things right now, so I
Go
am
for it,
going to
Leslie.
challenge myself. I'm going to challenge myself to not complain about the things that I'm mad about.
Yeah. I will make an exception, though. I'm married to a therapist, so I do always say this, that you're allowed to complain to your therapist and to like a pastor, best friend, clergy, you do need some outlets for the complaints. But a lot of them are gratuitous complaints. And the gratuitous complaints that we have keep us from gratitude. It's just we have simple. It's just math.
Love it. Now, what happens if you increase gratitude and decrease complaints?
Well, if you
Do like,
increase
go
your
to-
thankfulness and you decrease your complaints, I think we're going to see we got a negative of a negative that makes a positive, and so we're going to have a hell of a lot more gratitude. I'm all in favor of that. Let's do both. I didn't want to confuse people and give them two things to do.
That's great. I love that. I usually think about the additive one, but you're right. The just reducing complaints could do a whole lot.
There's a Will Bowen. He's a minister, and he started something. You don't want to. Oh, Eric, please don't do this with your congregation. But he does this thing. He challenged the whole congregation to do a 21-day no complaint challenge, which means going 21 days without complaining. And when you find yourself uttering a complaint, you're back to day zero. It took me 4 months. Took me 4 months to go 21. I got up to 4 days a few times. Took me 4 months till I could get to 21 days without a auditory complaint.
Well, we're starting Lent this coming Wednesday, which is the 40-day period minus Sundays that leading up to Easter. And a lot of times Christians will look at giving up something for Lent.
That's a good thing to give up.
Yeah. Well, and actually, the truly we should be taking on something and only giving up something in order to take on something. But one year I literally said, I'm just going to give up worrying for Lent. And you know what? That was like one of the best Lents I've ever had. I could say, oh, I'm worrying. Oh, no, I said I was going to give this up. I can't worry. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm in favor. So how about we take that on, and I'll start on Wednesday as well, and I'll re-up my no complaint challenge, and I will give up complaining again. And I'm going to say, if you're listening to this podcast, you are hereby obligated to do this as well. I have no power to enforce that. Obviously, you have free will. Do what you want.
I will join you in that, Brian. Maybe we ought to compare notes at the end of this series.
I'll tell you one thing that makes it even worse, Eric, or better. I'll make you a deal. In our 40 days, if on Friday I complain, I'm sending you a text message saying I complained, we're back down to zero.
Oh.
And if you do it where because if it's just me on me, I'm like, oh, whatever. But if I have to admit to you and bring your total back down to zero.
Oh, okay. So how are we keeping points here then? What counts
you
as
and me,
one?
buddy, from Wednesday until Easter. We're going to see how many days in a row we can go without having to text each other. Oops.
Okay. Oh, I see. So every day is a point.
Every day's a point.
Oh boy. Okay. So, we better not get to day 39 and have to go down to zero.
That's fine. If we do, we got to 39. I mean, how awesome is that to get to 39 days without complaining?
Anybody else want to join us by raise of hand? No complaining for 40 days? All right.
I think that's all of them. I just saw all of them raise their hand.
My wife is calling in from the other room, reminding me that during that 40 days, we will be moving, like literally from moving our house from Omaha to Portland. So I'm going to have to be really good about no complaining.
Does the ministerial close friend exception apply?
You make whatever rules make it so that it's doable. Don't set yourself up to failure. If you need to make an exception, make an exception. We're all adults. Do what works.
That's what I've always appreciated about you rabbis. You have a very realistic way of moving through these. You do what works.
Yeah.
Well, Rabbi or Eric, I will give one of you extra points if one of you now tonight try to get me online to get my vaccine.
Eileen, I can try. I promise you I can try.
You're a better man than I
can try. I'm not going to get anywhere, but I'll try.
All right. So
I'll pray on it. How's that?
Okay, there we go. So what are there other points of gratitude, Brian?
Yeah, I had another idea about gratitude, but I will require participation of the group.
Okay. All right.
And Andres or Eric, is there any way for us to see the entirety of the peoples who are here?
You're looking at them right now.
So we have everyone on screen. I can't see everyone on screen, but if you could
okay.
help me make this happen,
Okay.
and I'm going to share my screen again, and you guys might notice a pattern here, J, K, L, and I'm going to ask people to come up with, let's go one at a time, 26 stops along the way. Who can give me a word that starts with the letter A of something that we are grateful for? Anyone go ahead, shout out, what's an A word of something we're grateful for?
Artichokes.
Artichokes. I need a B.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Amen, brother. C.
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. Let's not just stay in foods, but good one.
It's dinner time. What do you expect?
Dinner. The fact that we have dinner. We have 3 meals a day. That's amazing. Let's keep going. E.
Eyesight.
Eyesight. Amen.
I was hoping somebody might say Eric, but eyesight.
I was thinking that. I was really thinking of just sucking up on that one. F. What do we get for F?
Friendship.
Flowers.
Friendship and flowers. G.
God.
God. Why not?
Extra credit for that one.
Sense of that. H.
Hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds. I.
Igloos.
Igloos.
It's a
I
snowy
have-
day out in Portland.
Kids built one in my neighborhood. It's pretty impressive. J.
Joy.
Joy. I'm going to time us out right here. Do you notice what happens in your body when we think of things for which we are grateful? Do you notice how it's electric, it's exciting, it's enticing, it changes our brain. And this simple exercise, this is the alphabet. We can do this at any time. And it's really amazing in how it's trite, it's simple, it's small, but just listing things for which we are grateful alters our brain, it alters our outlook, it turns things into blessings.
That's great.
I have to finish writing out the alphabet because, otherwise I don't feel complete.
All right. Well, we'll have to complete that in our own time. Sounds
Yes.
good.
Everyone, you got homework.
Yeah, that's great. I often benefit from, I keep a gratitude journal, and that really kind of grounds me in the morning. And if I'll either write it out or I'll just do it in my head for at least 5 minutes and just write down everything in the last 24 hours.
I have another little exercise. I collect the ones.
Yeah.
Every night, I write a little gratitude journal and I email it to 2 friends.
Oh, wow.
They write a gratitude journal and they email it to me. And all we do in the response is just like, I loved it, I saw it, I read it, good for begonias or whatever you want to comment back. But the act of knowing at 9 o'clock at night, I have an alarm on my phone, just having a little, an outside source to whom I commit my gratitude, who I share it with, it helps. And to see their little bits of gratitude every day, it helps.
That's a great idea. I love that. I've oftentimes thought it'd be fun, even like, worship thing, if you're going to pray for people, actually for people in the middle of worship to text somebody. In fact, you did that. I think that was an idea I was going to steal from you. Text somebody, say hello during worship, and that's
so we did that just yesterday. Do we have time to play a little game and to try it?
We got about we could probably do about 1 or 2 more minutes left.
Okay, so here we go. Everyone, do you have an electronic device near you? A phone, or you're on a computer? Go to your messaging program or your email program. And this is the way we play this game. Go to the names of them. Here's all my contact. And scroll. Just scroll up. If you're one of those people who erases all your old messages, God bless you. I don't know how you do that. But go down, and then at a certain point go, all right, stop. There. That one. All right, David Sisher. I haven't written to him since October 21st. I'm just going to write him a little note that says, hey, was thinking about you, wanted to say hi. And I just send that to him. And at any moment, and we do this in my services just to get a little hit of gratitude, is just send somebody a random, you know how good it would feel for you to get a little note from someone you haven't heard from since October 21st. So at some point he'll respond back.
I love it.
There we go.
I just did it myself.
Wonderful.
What a great practice. Well, Brian, the time has gone way too fast.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been a joy to have you on, and we're going to finish. You have a second finish with a fun clip that always raises in my body the same feelings I got from doing that gratitude alphabet thing. This is a video produced by a guy named Matt. It's called "Where the Hell Is Matt?" You ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt dancing all over the world on a year of travel. We're going to with that. And do you have a moment to stick around after the podcast or no? You got to get off to.
No, I'll stick around for a little bit and say
just a
hi,
couple
of
minutes.
course.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Matt.
That way, okay? Hold it steady.
pretty fun, huh?
Very
Well, Brian, it's been a real treat to have you on tonight, and feel much more full of gratitude than I did even sitting down here. And boy, you've put a big challenge before us this Lent now. Hadn't planned on that, but I love the challenge. No complaining for 40 days. And my wife will have to keep me honest on that, I guess. All right. Well, this has been the Converging Paths podcast, and look forward to seeing you again next week at 5 o'clock Pacific time, where we'll be looking at nature and its insights about nature that move us through the pandemic and beyond. So join us next week as well. Take care, God bless, and have a good evening.